Hello everyone and welcome. I want to discuss a new gear set that's coming to the Division 2 next season. It's a take on an old gear set from the Division 1, and that's Final Measure. They're kind of reinventing Final Measure and bringing it to the Division 2. And at first, I was really hyped when I heard this, and even when I seen it, I thought this could be very good. I have some great ideas, and my initial idea was turning it into kind of like a healer replacement for Legendary. And I will show you some gameplay of this, and it didn't quite go down as well as I wanted it to. But before I get to that, in my opinion, let's have a look at it and give a bit of an overview of the build. So this is the build I put together. Now, obviously, I'm not saying this is the way you make this build. It was very, very quickly. I mainly wanted to test what it did. So I just, again, my thought process was replacing the healer. I remember on the Division 1, I had a Final Measure healer. It was really good. I loved it. We used it for Clear Sky a lot and some other instances. And I was just kind of thinking of like replicating that and seeing how it worked in the Division 2. It didn't work that good, like I said. But let's take a look at the gear set itself. So it's called Measured Assembly, and you can see it's the final mask. So Final Measure, right? It's basically in the name there. And the gear set, for 2 pieces of this, you're going to get 15% skill haste, 3 pieces, 60% repair skills, and 4 pieces, you'll get the Huddle talent. And with this talent, you're going to receive 1 skill tier for each ally agent that is within the range of your hive or smart cover. So it is going to work with the new smart cover that's coming to Division 2. Smart cover is part of the Battle for Brooklyn DLC. You'll have to own that DLC on May 27th once the new season releases. If you get the DLC, you'll also get access to smart cover. While at skill tier 6, having at least 1 ally agent in the range of your hive or smart cover for 4 seconds is going to grant you overcharge for 15 seconds with a cooldown of 40 seconds. Mortars is like the final measure part now. Mortars and enemy skills that enter the range of your hive or smart cover will be destroyed. That cooldown is 30 seconds, and the cooldown is 15% faster for each ally agent within the range of your hive or smart cover. So that is how it works, and I kind of forget how it worked in the Division 1. I think it basically soaked up everything. Might have had some form of cooldown or something, but like grenades, mortars, any explosions coming at you, Final Measure would soak it up. It was brilliant. I remember putting people on top of the newsstand on Clear Sky, and the mortars wouldn't bother them. It was great. But basically, I was trying to make this run, like I said, a legendary, well, take place of my legendary healer when I'm doing legendaries. But like on the White Tusk, when the drone people, for example, they always set off 2 drones. They'll take out 1 drone, great, but the second drone would still go through. It didn't do anything with grenades, so when grenades were fired at you from the grenadiers, they'd still go through. Didn't do anything with that. And it was, yeah, it just didn't work. That part of the talent for me just wasn't there. It wasn't. I didn't think it was nowhere near as powerful as Final Measure was in the Division 1. And I didn't show you the chest or the backpack, but the talents on the chest and the backpack. So if you get the Measured Assembly backpack, it's going to decrease the cooldown for destroying mortars and enemy skills from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. So I did have that on. So every 15 seconds, it would destroy a drone or a mortar or an enemy skill. It just wasn't that good. It was nowhere near what I wanted it to be for like a Final Measure sort of reinvention. And on the chest piece, what that did with the talent, you had Hive Mind, which decreased the overcharge cooldown from 40 to 25. And that part of the build I really did like. So I do want to play more with this. I'm not writing this gear set off as it stands. And you got to remember this is the PTS as well. They're going to be looking at all this feedback. And they might buff this, they might change this. I'll be looking at the stats and all that. So lots of time. We've got a whole month before the new season is out. Lots of time for them to look at this and change things. So, but as it stands, the only part that I really felt that I was going to invest in was the overcharge part. So that means when you've got your hive out, someone's standing in your hive, once in there for 4 seconds, you'll have overcharge. You're going to have that for 15 seconds. At the end of that 15 seconds, you don't have to wait 25 seconds then. If you had the backpack on, the chest on, and then you'd be in overcharge again. And that was great. So I tested a few things out with this while I was playing. I was thinking like a little bit of crowd control as well as being the healer. So when I had overcharge, I throw a Firefly out, or I tried to foam as well. You could also go down the damage route maybe as well. So you could, every time you have overcharge, you could throw an overcharge decoy out, or could throw an overcharge turret out, an overcharge drone out. It only lasts for the 15 seconds, but you're going to get that back again quite quick. So your second skill will be going on overcharge quite regular. And the more people that are in your hive, the less the cooldown was as well. So it'd be even quicker. I think that part of the build is definitely room to play with. I don't think building the build like I did as like a full healer is probably the way to go. There's probably loads more that you can do with this. I'd thinking about it now after the testing. I didn't get more time to test this. I want to do other things on the PTS, but I'd probably take the chest and the backpack out, or definitely the backpack, and have a play around with what else we can do with this build, because that's the other part of it as well. Like, you don't need to go full skill tier. You could maybe turn this into a bit of a hybrid build, because you're receiving 1+ skill tier for each ally that's within the range of your hive. So if you're going to build this for your squad and you're going to be playing with 3 people and you have a style, you have a game plan, and all 3 people are going to be in your hive, that's going to be 3 skill tiers that you're going to have. So is there like a sort of yeah, it's like a hybrid version of this build where this could be a little bit more, and you could really take advantage of that overcharge skill that you get more often with that as well. There's probably loads of better ways to put the build together than what I did initially with my initial idea. So yeah, I'm still excited for this as it is, just to play around with and see what you can do with it. I think it is a good set. But the final measure part of it, again, I just go back to that. This is kind of like a reinvention of final measure. The soaking up mortars and enemy skills, I think, is very underwhelming. So when I was talking about this in the stream, someone mentioned this. I really like this. What if it soaked up everything for the duration of the hive? Sounds quite OP. But then what if when you used this gear set that maybe the duration of the hive was shortened, or the cooldown was more lengthy? I don't know. Something like that sounded very good, and I think it really does need to include grenades as well, not just mortars and enemy skills. I think it's got to be like all explosions. So then when you are trying to use this on like a legendary, say, those grenades that spam grenades at you, this would be a great counter to that, you know. But it would have to be changed, like I said, because just one every 15 seconds, or every, I think it's 50 or 30, yeah, everyone every 15 seconds, like when they're spamming those grenades at you, like, well, it'll take one grenade, but then there's more coming in, you know. If anything, if you think about the demolitionist signature weapon, like, that allows you to survive one explosion every 60 seconds. It's just a beefed up version of that, really, isn't it? And it doesn't even do as good as that because it can't do grenades. So I definitely think that needs changing some way. The rest of it, I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of things you could do with the build, whether it's hybrid, whether it is a skill build. It's good. I think it's got a good base to build on. I hope that the feedback in the PTS gives it some form of buff and just get it a little bit closer to final measure like it was in the Division 1. And that's my thought on that. But what's your thoughts? These are just my thoughts today. I'd love to hear yours. Have you played around with the gear set? Have you got better ideas than I have? Like I've already said that I went about it the wrong way, but how are you thinking about making this build? What are your ideas with it? What do you want to do with it? Comment down in the video description. Do you also think it needs buffing as well, maybe? If you do think it needs buffing, how would you do that? I'm going to end this video here, though. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you have enjoyed it to support the video and the channel. Subscribe as well if you want to watch more from myself. And before you do leave, I've got all my links in the video description that include links to my Discord servers that you should definitely come and check out. Well, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.